Good morning, this is DistractedBeam. Today I'm going to be looking at a video that my girlfriend's nephew Alex made. And this is a reenactment of when Obi-Wan and Yoda find the dead younglings in the temple. Now, I just want to start out by saying that at your age, I did not have the patience to do anything as tedious as making movies. So I think the fact that you're doing it at all is pretty fantastic. Now, I was told that if I have any advice that I could give you, that I should give it to you. So I'm just going to tell you some things that I would have done differently. It's not necessarily what you should do, because if you like what you're doing, you should keep on doing it that way. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get a nice base plate, somewhere you can put all the objects to make it look nice. And for that, I bought this brand new TV, and I'm going to take it apart and use the glass that's on top. And now you can see I've got this lovely surface that I can set my toys on. Now when you're making a video like this, you want to try and get rid of all the distractions, because you want people to look at only what they're supposed to be looking at. That means you want to get rid of this, the curtain, the reflection from the curtain, everything that's going to be taking away from what you want everybody to look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking this is a blanket, I'm going to be hanging it from the curtain rod up here. I'm going to drape that behind it, and then I'm going to zoom in and try to take video of only the subject. Now, if I was trying to sell this toy, this would be closer to how I'd be trying to do it, because you can see it's got that nice reflection underneath it. It's got that pretty acrylic background. I'd want to iron the curtain before I did this, but this would be closer to how I'd be trying to do it. Now, I'm not trying to sell this, I'm trying to tell a story, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to use the white background that has no glare. To start out with, I would not use photographs too much. People can use them to enhance their video just by showing a flash of an object that they want people to look at for a second and then go back to the video. But when people are looking at video, even just looking at this right here, even though nothing's happening, it could easily be a photograph, you kind of get a feel that it's a video. So if I was to take this and move it around, even if it looks silly, videos are better than photographs. So I'd recommend trying to start using video. It's going to be a lot harder, it's going to be a lot more work, but the results are going to be better. And if you're going to be recording with video, then you're going to need to have some software that you can use to edit the video. And for that, I recommend Adobe Premiere Pro. You're going to have to go into your mother's purse, take out her credit card, and you can get a subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud. This is what Adobe Premiere looks like, and I've also used Sony Vegas, and if you want, you can watch this video I made about comparing the two. And if you don't have any money to spend at all, you can always use Blender. I made this video about Linux, and in that I reviewed Blender. It is not a great program at all, but if you don't have any money to spend, it does have a lot of features that you don't get with simpler programs. Now the next thing I want to talk to you about is angles. Now you can see from here that we're looking down on the subject and it looks kind of like they're a little bit pointed inward. Whereas if I take the camera back here and aim it up a little bit, still pointed inward a bit, but it looks a lot more like they're marching toward you. And this is important because if you're taking a bunch of bird's eye view shots like this, it's going to make it look like the person that's watching the video has nothing to do with what's actually going on. If you bring it down to their level, you can almost feel like you're standing near them. So the perspective is, you're looking at what's going on, or you're a part of what's going on. And that perspective makes a big difference in how the person is going to feel when they're watching the video. So I got some video going on right now of a face-off between the Lich King and R2-D2. If you're watching a video like this, you're going to feel like you're not really part of the action. So you can see what's happening. It could be really cool. It could be interesting to watch, but you're going to be looking at more of the environment and what's going on. Whereas if I was to take a video like this, you could almost perceive that you're watching it as the Lich King. So for example, if R2-D2 was to fire a shot at Lich King, you would feel almost like you would have to react. Another thing to think about is dominance. So if I was to take a video like this, the Lich King is going to look small. But by doing a simple trick, now the Lich King looks a lot bigger and a lot more imposing. So simple angles and zooming in makes a big difference on how your character feels. And when you're taking video here on the floor, you can see this doesn't give you a heck of a lot of options. Because once you hit the ground, that's it. So it's still not bad, but it's going to make your life a lot easier if you just start out with it on a table. So let's say you want to make a video where your character goes in and kills everybody. It could be something like this. Yeah. Alright, well that's a bit simple. What if you wanted more things going on than just you holding your character? What if you wanted the other characters to be reacting? Well, the trick is fishing twine. Or thread. Thread works too. And the reason we're using twine is because you can barely see it, and it's very strong. And what that means is you can make a small knot, tie it around one of these guys, and you can make them run away without ever having your hand in the shot. So here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to start out by taking just a bunch of video just like this. Then I'm going to add some elements like this. We're good. Ooh, I'll get him. I'll get him up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then I use Adobe After Effects to combine it all together. We're good. Ooh, I'll get him. Yeah. I'll get him up. Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is light. Now this whole time I've just been using one light. And that's this overhead light that I've got right here. But the results are going to be mediocre at best with something like that. One thing that you'll find if you're taking videos like that is all your videos are going to have a lot of noise. That's a bunch of little dots all over the screen that don't look like they really fit in. And what that is just your camera fighting to absorb as much light as it can. And the way that you counter that is you add lights, like this one over here on the left and this one over here on the right. So starting out, I'm going to turn on the light on the right. And you can see already the difference that it made. It made everything a little bit better. Now I'm going to turn on the light on the left. And now we've got lighting coming from all sides. And something like this light over here is going to be ideal because you can take these and you can move them in and out, and that's going to change the way that everything looks. And if you ask any photographer, lighting is everything. The more light you can put on, the more light sources that you have, the more creativity you've got, and the better you can make it look. Ideally, you want to have at least 3 lights. But if you don't have it, that's okay. Just keep on working with what you got. The ideal solution, the absolute best light that you can possibly get is outdoor light.
I love the daylight. I love the outside.
So those are some of the things that I would suggest playing around with, and even if you ignore everything that I just said and just keep on making videos, that's still great too, because every video that you make is going to make you a little bit better. So good job, and keep doing what you're doing.